excited. I want to see this. I'm really excited. I have no idea what this is. No idea at all.
Well, basically, it starts off with things.
Do you want a pad? Would that help?
Yeah, we can have the pad a little bit.
Yeah.
Check this out. I get to use the pad. Oh, wow. So it starts off with these. These are, I'm into musical theatre.
Yes.
I love musical theatre. I've had the amazing opportunity of being able to perform musical theatre a few times myself. And I'm also a musician. So
I'll never forget my favourite performance you ever did was Wedding Singer.
Yeah,
Right.
I loved Wedding Singer. And being in bands and whatever, and music speaks to me, and it has done for a long, long, long time. And I went down to London to see a musical called Six.
Oh yeah.
Six.
I've not seen it, but everyone's raving about it.
Incredible! It's like the second best musical I've ever seen in my entire life. It's phenomenally good, and I've seen.
People are going to ask, what's the best music?
Dear Evan Hansen.
Okay.
Is the best one I've ever seen.
Okay.
And Six is about Henry VIII and his 6 wives.
Okay.
Everyone knows about Henry VIII, everyone knows who he is, and everyone knows that he had 6 wives.
Yeah.
But the actual wives themselves, the ladies themselves, they've got very interesting stories of their own.
Okay.
And they've done this whole musical based on the 6 wives. It mentions Henry obviously through it because he's a main part of it, he's what connects all 6 of them together. But generally speaking, they have their own stories.
Okay.
And it's a very, very interesting musical as well as a very fun one. And as you come out, which very often happens when you go to theatre shows in the West End, they have things that you can buy to commemorate your trip.
Yeah.
And they had these cards, and they've all got Henry VIII on them on the back, and on the front there's a picture of each one of his wives.
Okay.
And it's the whole story of the musical is giving you a little bit of background about each wife. So like Catherine of Aragon, she was the first wife of Henry VIII. First ever one. But the interesting story about Catherine of Aragon is she actually married Henry's brother when they were 15.
Oh wow.
So she married Henry VIII's brother. So effectively, when Henry married her later on in life, he was actually marrying his sister-in-law.
That's weird.
True story. Anne Boleyn. She's another interesting character. So she was...
she lost a head, didn't she?
She was the first person to be beheaded. She was the first one to be murdered effectively by Henry. And there's a saying about her, which her sleeves may be green, but her lipstick was red. And the reason for that is because she found out that obviously being faithful to your partner was not one of Henry's strong points. So he was running around, doing everyone that he could. And she decided that, if he's going to do it, so am I. And Henry found out about it and cut her head off. Anne of Cleves.
Okay.
This is a bit of a sad tale. So Anne of Cleves, that picture, that is the actual portrait that was done of her. So Anne of Cleves had her own portrait done in Germany. She's German. She had her own portrait done to send to Henry to kind of try to woo him. And he's looked at that picture and gone, I'll have a bit of that. She's well fit, right? So he's brought her over, married her. But when she actually got there and took the veil off, she was basically the original catfish. She didn't look like her picture.
Oh, wow.
At all. And it's said in history that Henry took one look at her and just went, no. I don't like how you look, or something in the words of the time. So she ended up not being killed. She died later on, but and she ended up being very good friends with Henry. He trusted her a lot, and they started certain parts of the church together, and they were friends until she died. But they were never romantic in any way because he didn't find her attractive. Catherine Howard, she's the other hussy. So Catherine Howard again found out that Henry was running around with everyone that he could go with, which was pretty much everybody because he was the king of England. She didn't like it, so she started sleeping around with his friends and his colleagues and the people that worked for him, and he found out, and she was the second one to be murdered. They cut her head off. Catherine Parr, very interesting lady. Catherine Parr was the one that outlived him.
Really?
So she was the one that was still around after Henry had died. She doesn't really factor into this because she wasn't killed. And then the last one, Jane Seymour. Now, Jane Seymour was his third wife, and the only one he truly loved.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she was the one that gave him his son. He had a son with Jane Seymour, but then very shortly after he had Jane's son, she died. But he was besotted with Jane Seymour. He loved her very, very much. And to the point where when he eventually died, he was buried next to Jane Seymour. So now they will lie together for eternity. And really weird, but he was the king, so he could do whatever he wanted. Whenever they had portraits done and pictures done to go around the castles around the UK, even after she died, Henry had her painted into the pictures.
Wow.
So it looked like she was still there. That's how much he liked Jane Seymour. And then finally, there is the Palace of St. James, which I was like, why have they put a picture of the Palace of St. James in there? It's a very strange thing to do, because that's obviously not one of his wives. That's a building. However, this building was very, very important to Henry. Every time he lost a wife or got divorced or murdered one of them, or one of them died, he would go to the Palace of St. James, and that was like his happy place, his man cave, basically. He used to go there and chill. He used to go there, listen to music. He was even known to have...
Play some PlayStation.
Play some PlayStation, yeah, go on a Discord, that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just chill out, have a chat to his mates, smoke some weed, have a 40. You know what I mean? But so he used to basically go to the Palace of St. James to listen to music. That was how he unwound, that's how he chilled out and forgot about the world and reset himself. He was even known to compose his own music.
Oh, wow.
He was very, very big on music. And he was said to have acknowledged the fact that whenever he was listening to music, that would help him center himself, and it would help him make decisions moving further on in his life. So whenever he needed help with anything, he would sit and listen to music, and the music would guide him to decisions to move forward, which I thought was really interesting, because I've been guided by music loads of times. Like with the way that I've dressed in the past, the way that I've acted on stage, the way that I perform, the way that I think about things, I've been guided by music. And it happens to everyone, I think. It's just how susceptible you are to and how much you realise it's happening. So I thought we could try something really cool. So we've got this song that I've got from Spotify. You can see who it's by. You know who that is, right?
Bach, yeah.
J.S. Bach. Everyone's heard of him. And so what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can influence you with some music.
Okay.
Okay? So we're going to put some music on. We're going to put this song on by J.S. Bach.
Okay.
And then we're going to see if we can influence you in some way to make a decision, to see if the music can influence you without you realising it's happening. Okay, so let's put some music on. So we're going to keep playing this until you are happy. And we're going to do this thing that we're going to do now as many times as you want. And I just want you to feel the music. Okay. And when you feel it's the right time to stop, we'll stop. So we're going to put either a card down and say stick, or we're going to swap them over. And that's a swap, okay? So stick or split?
Split.
You want to split, perfect. So it's a split. You want to stick or split?
Split.
Split again. Stick or split?
Stick.
And then the last one, we stick. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Just feel the music. Just let it take you.
Let's do it again.
You want to go again? Okay. Do you want to stick or split?
Stick.
Stick, perfect.
Split.
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 Split again. And then the last one, sticks.
Stick.
Okay. Want to go again, or just feel the music? Just let it tell you what you want to do?
I'm happy.
You want to stay where you are? Okay, perfect. So we'll knock this music off. Sorry, Mike, I know you were enjoying that song, but we'll just turn that off for a sec. I'll send you the track. You can put it back on in a bit. Okay, so you're happy with that, and you felt the music, and the music told you that was where you wanted to stop?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what we are going to do is take these cards, and we're going to lay them out.
Okay.
And we'll see if you can see any kind of order that the cards are in. Now, you would agree that if we'd have done that one more time, there would have been a completely different order.
Yeah, totally random.
And you decided what you wanted to do, whether you wanted to stick or split. So it's an order that you've generated.
Yeah.
And you've generated that order.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just looking at them, and it doesn't look like it's not in the order that they died or anything. But I mean, there's got to be some kind of order there. Did you feel influenced in any way by the music?
Not really, no.
You didn't?
No.
I think you were influenced by the music, whether you realise it or not. I think that you were.
Really?
Well, I mean, let's have a look at it. So, J.S. Bach was the name of the track. Was the name of the composer.
Yes.
Can you see what it says underneath?
Arranged by you.
Arranged by you. Arranged by, but that's arranged by
you.
Arranged by you.
Yeah. So
that was arranged by you.
Yeah.
And it's a track by J.S.
Bach. Yeah.
J.S. B A C H. JS Bach, arranged by you, and you arranged in the composer's name. And you're telling me you don't feel like you were influenced by the music
Apparently
in any way?
I was, Matt.
Apparently you were, and that is the power of music.
Wow.